London. Thanks very much for being with us. So just give us your perspective on what is at stake here for the aid that goes into Afghanistan and how dependent its economy has been for 20 years now, even longer.
Thank you very much. The economy of Afghanistan is almost very unique in the fact it depends almost entirely on international aid for the last many years. And the situation is extremely serious, in my opinion, because Afghanistan is facing decline in the number of donors who are willingly putting forward their pledges, some of them for 1 year, some are for few years, to help Afghanistan. Is already reduced from 15 billion US dollar back in the 2016-17 to now they are pledging 12 billion US dollar. Number two, all countries, including the United States, are having a condition attached to their financial support or aid with anti-corruption strategies, peace talks, and how the government is going to control its fiscal policy and so on and so forth. The World Bank is also putting lots of conditions for Afghanistan to commit to reforms, human rights, peace dialogue, and so on and so forth. So the situation is very serious because you're talking about a country almost fully depending on aid, and this aid is now under serious situation of not continuing, or at least is being severely being reduced.
What do you make of the fact that they are putting these conditions on further aid, like the US, for example? You know, some would say that they're essentially weaponizing aid and you know, holding the country to ransom. What's your view on that?
My view is that, unfortunately, the West, including my country here, the United Kingdom, is really shattered with the fast-moving episodes on the ground of Afghanistan. Even our chief military personnel here, he said that in the last interview I watched him. The situation is really unfolding, is changing very rapidly. They don't know what to do. No one really can even forecast how the Taliban is going to react. No one really can forecast how the government is going to commit to all the conditions being put. So everyone is very just waiting, holding in waiting. The other issue is, I know this doesn't sound a nice line for the West, but the West is feeling being humiliated in Afghanistan. After 20 years, nothing is being achieved. Yes, millions of girls have been to schools, which is a very good result, but they can see that the Taliban are now marching on the street in parading as victory. They have succeeded to come back and holding Afghanistan again. So that humiliation feeling in the mind and heart of many of the Western leaders is making them shaky on what to do with Afghanistan. Remember, we went to Afghanistan to try to reform that country under that war, which we call it global war on terror, and we haven't achieved that. People now are talking about how secure we are now after the Taliban are back. So the third issue is all these countries, including the United States, the United Kingdom, Germany, they are all financially struggling. Just yesterday, our Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, announced one of the highest amount of taxes are going to be imposed on us. And even that was clear, if you like, going away from his manifesto.